Roni v'simchi bat Zion, ki hineni v'shachanti v'tochech na'um Hashem, na'um Hashem. Roni v'simchi bat Zion, ki hineni v'shachanti v'tochech na'um Hashem, na'um Hashem. Torah tzivah lanu Moshe Morasha Kehilat Yaakov. Torah tzivah lanu Moshe Morasha Kehilat Yaakov. Torah tzivah lanu Moshe Morasha Kehilat Yaakov. Torah tzivah lanu Moshe Morasha Kehilat Yaakov.
Mazel tov, good evening and welcome to Tamara's virtual bat mitzvah. This really is a very exciting, special and unique moment, and I'd like to thank everybody who's worked so hard to make this possible. A huge mazel tov to Natalie, Ruben and of course to Tamara and all the family. And now we're going live to the Rodner house as I hand over to Ruben, who will introduce Tamara, and then we'll hear from Tamara herself. Ruben, it's over to you.
Thank you very much, Rabbi. Community, family, and friends, it was just after midnight at 12:06 a.m. on Monday, the 26th of May, 2008, that Tamara was born to the sound of thunder, lightning, and torrential rain lashing against the tiny windows of the smallest broom cupboard Watford Hospital had available. The hospital was incredibly busy that night because it was a bank holiday and the car park was packed and flooded. I know because I had to run to the top of the parking meter in the pouring rain and parking apps hadn't been introduced yet. Even though it would be 6 years until your brother Jacob would be born, Tamara, you were a middle child from the start. Always the last to fall asleep and the first to wake up. To your siblings, you are sometimes their best friend, but equally often their worst enemy. We love it every time you show how much you care for Jacob and Milo the dog, and when you seek Gabby's advice and spend hours chatting in her bedroom. You love to sing and dance, often at the same time, in 20-second energetic performances on TikTok. You spend a great deal of effort to get it right and love sharing the whole performance with a fantastic group of friends who all spend just as much time doing exactly the same, much to the annoyance of all the parents who are involved. Perhaps if you could just redirect 10% of the energy that you spend on TikTok towards school, that would be great. Your other passion is baking and cooking. which has kept us well fed over the past couple of weeks. Bagels, challah, and the hundreds of meals you've helped to cook for hospital staff through You Donate, We Deliver over the last couple of months. We are incredibly proud of you, of all the hard work that you've put in for this charity and the value you place on helping others in need as part of your bat mitzvah. You have raised over £1,500 for the Borehamwood and Elstree Hardship Fund, money that goes directly to people in your own community who face serious financial hardship. Tamara, we are incredibly proud of the young woman you are becoming, proud to be Jewish and so affectionate towards your friends and family. You have also surprised us with your positive attitude when it became clear that your big day was going to be affected by the pandemic. Natalie and I would like to thank Rabbi Chapper for leading us through this virtual bat mitzvah ceremony, and to Leah and Chaim Hoch for Tamara's bat mitzvah club and the lovely Friday night dinner back in February. Thanks to David Nathan, who helped us to form the initial idea, and Louise and Josh Moot, who have been working so hard behind the scenes to make this event as fantastic and as special as possible. Thanks to Stephen Levey for the beautiful new song composed and recorded in time to be debuted this evening. Thanks also to the United Synagogue for co-opting the bat mitzvah with their weekly Kabbalat Shabbat broadcast. Finally, thank you to all our wonderful family and friends who have supported us through this unique time. Shabbat Shalom. I'm now going to hand over to Tamara.
Dear Rabbi, community, family and friends, this Shabbat we read a double parashah called Bahar B'Herkatai. In this Dvar Torah, I'll discuss how Moshe was instructed by Hashem to explain the rules of Shemitah to the Jewish nation and how it links to the current situation the world is in right now. In the second part, I will talk about the promises that Hashem made to us as long as we keep the Torah and do mitzvot. In chapter 25, verse 2, God tells Moshe, V'shvita ha'aretz Shabbat laHashem. The land shall observe a Shabbat rest for God. In the first part of Parashat Bahar, we read about Shemitah, which tells farmers in Israel to work on their land for 6 years, and to let the land rest in the seventh, the year of Shemitah. They must let anyone who wants come and enjoy whatever grows during that year. The verse tells us that this is the same pattern we have for Shabbat, where we work 6 days of the week and rest in the seventh, something that I am very good at. In verse 11, the Torah continues, Yovel hu shnat ha-hamishim shna tihiyeh lahem. The 50th year shall be your Jubilee year. After the last 7 cycles of Shemitah, the 50th year is called Yovel, or in English, Jubilee. The Yovel year is another year of rest for the land, and in addition, they must also let all servants go free and return all property to its original owner. There are many discussions amongst rabbis today about the laws of Shemitah and Yovel, whether they only apply when the majority of Jews live in Israel, or even when the Yovel year is. Because we don't know for sure, some religious kibbutzim use a new method called hydroponics, which is a method of growing plants without soil, and donate a share of their earnings to charity. Officially, the rabbis in Israel sell their land to a non-Jew for Shemitah, and buy it back when the land can be worked on again. You will notice that this is the same pattern we use to make sure that we don't own any chametz on Pesach. Speaking of Pesach, since the second night, we've been counting the Omer. We count up every day to Shavuot for 49 days or 7 weeks. Yesterday evening, we counted the 36th day, which was 5 weeks and 1 day of the Omer. We have many laws for when and how to count, with or without a blessing, and what happens if you forgot to count or made a mistake. Again, we can see how important the number 7 is in our tradition and making sure that we count accurately. The counting of the Omer represents 49 steps that the Jewish people had to improve themselves, from being rescued by God out of Egypt to being ready to receive the Torah at Har Sinai. Just like our ancestors, during the Omer, we should improve ourselves and get closer to Hashem, one step at a time. That is why we count up 1 to 49 and not down, because we can't be sure that we'll be ready in time for Shavuot. On Seder night, we said Manish Tana Halayla Hazeh Mikol Halelot. Why is this night different from all other nights? This year, Pesach was very different from any previous years. On Seder night, we would normally have over 20 guests around our table, but this year there are only 5 of us. However, my brother Jacob sang Manish Tana better than any previous years, and we finished our Seder with Who Knows One louder than we have ever sung. We are also counting the days and the weeks of quarantine. Today is the 57th day or 8 weeks since the schools were closed in the UK. We count up because we don't know how long it will be, or if staying at home will be enough, or when we'll finally go back to school and can be with our extended family and friends again. In the second part of this week's parasha, in chapter 25, verses 3-5, God tells Moshe, Im behukatai telchu v'natati gesh mechem ba'altem lechem chem lazova. If you follow my rules, then I will provide your rains in their time. You will eat your bread to be satisfied. I think the Torah is explaining to us that Hashem will always be there for us if we stick to the rules in the Torah and keep doing mitzvah through these hard times. There will be enough food and hand sanitizers, and everyone will wash their hands often and eat until satisfied. This means that there is no need for anyone to go panic buying in the supermarkets. He'll even make sure there's enough toilet roll, pasta, flour, and eggs. Social distancing, quarantine, self-isolation, Zoom are just a few new scary words that have become part of a new normal. It's a really strange time we are living through. Many people around the world are staying at home with more time to relax and to be together as a family. Every Thursday at 8 p.m, we've been going outside to clap and bang our pans to show our support for the amazing NHS and fantastic key workers. Together with Mummy, I've been cooking hundreds of meals and treats for a local charity called You Donate, We Deliver, which was set up only 2 months ago. People and companies donate money, ingredients, and containers to make meals for hospital staff. We have been making big pots of pasta and bringing them back the next day ready to be sent out to the hospitals. As you saw, my daddy needs a haircut, so I've also been fundraising for the Bournemouth and Elstree Synagogue Hardship Fund for the right to get out the scissors and cut his hair in a live stream this Sunday. Please tune in for that. Thank you all who have donated so generously. We set out to raise £500, but at the last count we raised over £1,500. This will go to people in the community who really need it. Today, the 21st of Iyar, is my 12th Hebrew birthday, and I'm now ready to take on more responsibilities as a Jewish woman. As I have discussed, we count up 7 days of the week for Shabbat, 7 weeks of the Omer between Pesach and Shavuot, 7 years for Shemitah, and 7 Shemitah years to celebrate Yuval. I want to continue to learn and improve myself step by step, and do positive mitzvot and good deeds for others. Because as long as we improve ourselves and do mitzvot, Hashem has promised us that He'll provide for us and give us hope. In normal times, I would have lots of family and friends here with me in person, but due to the unfortunate situation, I'm not able to have you all here with me on my special day. Tonight, we would have a lovely Friday night dinner with all the family coming from Israel, Norway, Switzerland, and the USA, followed by an amazing Shabbat lunch. When the time is right, we will find a way to celebrate together. I would like to thank Mummy, whose Hebrew birthday is also today, and Daddy for helping me through these rough times as you also reassure me that everything's going to be okay. I'd also like to thank Grandma and Grandpa and Bestama and Bestafa for always being there for me when I have a hard day. To my amazing brother, whose birthday is this Shabbat, who looks up to me, but probably not for long. And to my darling sister, who I have to look up to as she's so tall. And finally, to all my great friends who I have shared lots of memories with, and our FaceTime calls when I'm feeling lonely, we all laugh together. Thank you, and Shabbat Shalom.
Tamara, Mazel Tov, that was a fantastic Dvar Torah, really, really superb. And now I'm delighted to ask your dear parents, Natalie and Ruben, to give you a bracha, the parents' blessing.
ישימך אלוהים כשרה רבקה רחל ולאה. יברכך אדוני וישמרך, יאר אדוני פניו אליך ויחונקה, Yisa Adonai panav elecha, yasem lecha shalom.
May you be like Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. May God bless you and protect you. May God show you favor and be gracious to you. May God show you the kindness and grant you peace.
Amen. Amen. And Mazel Tov, Tamara, Mazel Tov to you on your bat mitzvah, and happy birthday also, this on your Hebrew birthday, and to your mother as well. You share the same Hebrew birthday. Mazel Tov to your dear parents, Mazel Tov to you, Natalie and Ruben, to your grandparents, Susan and Martin Cowan, and your Bestama and Bestafar, Miriam and Harry Rodner, and to all your family joining us around the world, from Israel, America, Switzerland, and from Norway. Hi og velkommen. And of course, not forgetting your older sister Gabby and your brother, my friend Jacob, and Milo the dog. Friends joining us and family in West Hampstead, Mill Hill, and Borehamwood, and everyone else who's joining us through the United Synagogue's live stream. We are really pleased that you're celebrating with us, and I know tomorrow you're really pleased to be able to share what you've learned with them. Tamara, your family have so many reasons to be proud of you, and I hope you know just how much nachas they share from you today. Now, this might not have been the bat mitzvah that you were planning, but this virtual bat mitzvah is very much a simcha, as you are now continuing in the tradition of those great Jewish women of the past who faced whatever life threw at them with courage and positivity. As I said, your Dvar Torah was superb. You spoke so eloquently about the mitzvahs of Shemitah and Yovel, and how by counting the days and weeks between Pesach and Shavuos, we have the opportunity to improve ourselves and get closer to Hashem, one step at a time. You also mentioned that we're living through strange times, but the Torah reassures us that Hashem is always with us. And what is so impressive is how, despite the situation, you, together with your family, have responded so positively by finding ways such as preparing food to help those on the front line of the NHS and other key workers. And you should also be very proud of yourself for raising over £1,000 for the BES Hardship Fund, which is fantastic. Although I have to say that your dad is really brave for letting you cut his hair. Ruben, good luck with that. At least you have time at home for it to grow back if it goes badly. Now, Tamara, you spoke about the 49 days between Pesach and Shavuos, and you reminded me of the famous question that the Magen Abraham asked. You see, we know that Shavuos is 50 days after Pesach. Now, I know that you enjoy maths, so go back to the original revelation and work out the maths. You see, we were redeemed from Egypt on a Thursday, and we received the Torah on Shabbat. So it turns out that in fact we received the Torah on day 51 after Pesach. So the question is, why do we celebrate Shavuos, Zaman Matan Torasenu, on the day before we actually received it? Well, many answers have been suggested. And a simple and poignant approach distinguishes between the day we received the Torah, Kabbalat Torah, and the day God gave it to us, Matan Torah. On Shavuos, we celebrate the day Asher Bachabanu Mikol Amim, that God chose us, V'nasan Lanu Es Torah, and gifted the Torah to Am Yisrael, to us, His people. But you know, a meaningful act of giving requires a willing and appreciative recipient who understands the gift's value. Tamara, let me ask you, would you give an iPhone to your dog Milo? Well, of course not. Not only because a study has shown that phones account for 1/3 of all pet-related device damage, but because dogs don't understand their value or appreciate their worth. And also, they don't have opposable thumbs, which makes texting very tricky. So the Gemara tells us that for our benefit, Moshe added a day to the period of preparation for receiving the Torah. It was a day of contemplation, an opportunity to consider the Torah as the greatest gift ever given, so that there was a true Kabbalas HaTorah, that we received and accepted it in the fullest sense, knowing how precious it is. And if we think about it, the importance of knowing how to receive divine gifts is something we remind ourselves of, not just once a year on Shavuos, but also on a weekly basis. And that is why it's no coincidence that the service that we have on Friday evenings is called Kabbalat Shabbat. And this week we're very excited because they will be following on from your Bar Mitzvah. With Kabbalat Shabbat, we literally accept Shabbos upon ourselves, and it's not a passive, but an active acceptance. Why? What is unique about Shabbos and that it has to be done in this way? Well, the Gemara records how God says to Moshe, I have a great gift in my treasury, and its name is Shabbos, and I want to give it to the Jewish people. Go and inform them. The Stephen Levey asks, if Shabbos is God's gift to us, then why do we need to put in so much effort to prepare for it? Why do we need to formally accept it? And he explains the reason is that God's gift of Shabbos is in danger of being wasted unless we, the recipient, have provided a receptacle that ensures that it will be put to good use. It's just like if you receive a bunch of flowers, but you don't have a vase to put them in, or you don't fill that vase with water to preserve the flowers, then the gift will be wasted. Tamara, to be a Jew means to know that God gives, but we have to receive and accept. There can be Matan Torah, but there has to be Kabbalat Torah. There can be Shabbat, but there must be Kabbalat Shabbat. Now that you've reached this significant milestone in your life, now that you are Bat Mitzvah and you take on more responsibilities as a Jewish woman, always remember to be an active Jew rather than a passive one. Judaism is your heritage. It was given to you by birth, and it will be your life if you recognize the value of that gift and not only accept it, but also embrace its teachings and practice its mitzvahs. Now, you've already shown that you've been a Mekabel, that you've accepted upon yourself the great mitzvahs of tzedakah and chesed, that we've heard of the wonderful things you've done. And you have all the midas, all the character traits necessary to be successful in life. You're hardworking, you're friendly, you're loving and caring. You're also a little bit quirky, I hear. And you're blessed because your parents not only love, care, and support you, but they're also tremendous role models to you. They've taught you to value the important things in life: family, friends, and community. They both make a significant contribution and are actively involved at BES and in the wider local community. I have to say, I was expecting Ruben to be outside the house on security. Natalie, Ruben, I thank you on behalf of everyone for the amazing work that you both do for the good of others, and tremendous role model you are for your children and for others. And tomorrow I say to you, at this wonderful moment in your life, learn from them. Take on the role of a Jewish woman and an active role. Recognize that God gives to us. We must accept those gifts and use them for the good. The Torah and the mitzvahs were given to us with love. We must accept them and receive them in that way and live our lives by them. And if you can do that always, then you'll be a source of great nachas to your dear parents and family, to your community, and ultimately to God Himself. Mazel tov.
Thank you.
It gives me great pleasure now to make a special mishaberach, a special prayer on your bat mitzvah. Mishaberach avoseinu Avraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov, v'yivarech es habacharu habas mitzvah, Tamara bas Ruben, shemalu shtem esrei shana v'yigal mitzvos. Chodesh Baruch Hu yishmereha v'yatzileh mikol tzar zugah, mikol negel machala, v'yasem b'lebah avasoy v'irasoy v'la'asos v'sono lo b'levav shem kol yamim v'noma amen. May He who blessed our fathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob bless the bat mitzvah Tamara, who has attained her 12th birthday today and reached the age to perform mitzvah. May the Holy One, blessed be He, protect her and save her from all trouble and distress, from every plague, virus, and disease, and may implant in her heart the desire to love and revere him, and the desire to do his will with a perfect heart throughout her life. And let us say, Amen.
Amen.
Mazel tov to you all again. Mazel tov.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mazel tov.
Simen Tov and Mazel Tov and Mazel Tov and Simen Tov. Simen Tov and Mazel Tov and Mazel Tov and Simen Tov. Simen Tov and Mazel Tov and Mazel Tov and Simen Tov. Yeah, hey lanu. Simen Tov and Mazel Tov and Mazel Tov and Simen Tov. Simen Tov and Mazel Tov and Mazel Tov and Simen Tov. Simen Tov and Mazel Tov and Mazel Tov and Simen Tov. Yeah, hey lanu.
I'm delighted to welcome you to this week's Kabbalat Shabbat with Bournemouth and Elstree Synagogue and the United Synagogue. You know, our rabbis tell us, Hakol holech acha harosh. Everything follows on from its beginning, meaning that it's so important that we start off in the right way. And that's what Kabbalat Shabbat is all about. As we prepare for Shabbat, we begin by uplifting ourselves with familiar words and tunes that penetrate our hearts and minds. And we transport ourselves from the mundanity of the week to the holiness of Shabbat. But how do we achieve this transition? Well, we may be more familiar with Havdalah at the end of Shabbat, at which we're mabdil, we distinguish between the holiness of Shabbat and the orderliness of the rest of the week. But the act of Havdalah is also required from the beginning of Shabbat and all the way through until it goes out. And especially during these times, we must actively make that distinction ourselves to maintain the unique nature of Shabbat. And my prayer is that we're inspired by Kabbalat Shabbat, so that we enjoy the whole of Shabbat as an oasis of peace. Now I'm delighted that leading Kabbalat Shabbat for us this evening, we have our very own musical maestro, Stephen Levey, accompanied by Yuval Havkin. We are in for a treat. Please join in. And Stephen, it's over to you.
Yatid nefesh av harachamim ושוכבתך אל רצונך ירוץ צוותך כמו הים ישתחווה אל מול הדרך ירף לו ידידותך מנופש וכל טעם הודו נועד זיו עולם נפשי חלש אבוסך אנו אלנו רפאנו בהרס לו נועם זיווך עוז תשחזק ושישרפק והיסלם שמחס עולם וסיק ימונה רחמך וחוסנה על בינחנו וכל כי זה כמה נחשפתי לראות בספרס וזכר אלה חמדה ליבי וחוסנה ואל תסלם יגלנו ופרוס חביבי עלי אסוכס שלומך תאי ארץ מכבודך נגילה ונשמחה מהר אהוב כבמועד וחוננו כימי עולם yana nai 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 yana nai 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 yana nai 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 yana nai yana nai nai yana nai 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 yana nai 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 yana nai 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 yana nai nai yana nai 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 yana nai 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 yana nai 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 yana nai nai yana nai nai yana nai 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 yana nai 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 yana nai nai yana nai 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 na 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 nai nai yana nai 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 yana na na nai yana na nai na nai yana na na nai nai yana nai 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 yana na nai na nai yana na na nai 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 yana na na nai nai yana nai yana nai 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 yana na na nai na nai yana na na nai 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 yana na na nai nai yana nai nai nai. Thank you very much, Rabbi Chapper. Shabbat Shalom. Every Friday evening, we welcome in Shabbat. The Tefillot describe Shabbat as a bride or as a queen,
And as we'd welcome in a bride to the room, or indeed the queen to the room, so we should welcome in Shabbat in the same way. So this evening, it's a little different, as it has been for the last few weeks. But the aim has to be to sing and to dance and to welcome in Shabbat in a proper and fitting manner. So the service that welcomes in Shabbat is called Kabbalat Shabbat. It is a welcoming of Shabbat, but it is very much unlike the other prayers that we say during the day. Shacharit in the morning, Mincha in the afternoon, and Mariv in the evening, which are attributed to our patriarchs. Kabbalat Shabbat, therefore, is a relatively modern service in terms of our prayers, and is believed to date back to the time of the Kabbalists in Safat in the 16th century. However, there is reference to a Kabbalat service, Kabbalat Shabbat type of service, dating back to the 3rd century. So how did it happen? How did they prepare for Shabbat? Well, people would go out to the edge of the village or out to the edge of the town, and from there they would come back into the town singing Tehillim, singing psalms, and dancing, and sometimes with instruments as well. But what about the nusach? What about the tunes that we use for the service? Well, tonight it will be a mix of 2 different nusachs. The first one is a traditional nusach, which dates back to, we think, around about the 18th century in Germany. Indeed, it could have been the nusach that the Kabbalists used in Safat if they brought that nusach with them to Germany. The other nusach is the nusach of Rabbi Shlomo Carlebach, somewhat more contemporary in the 1960s and 70s. Carlebach, probably the most prolific writer of Jewish song that has ever existed. So, as I said, tonight it will be a mix of the different nusachs, and you'll hear examples of both forms. So we begin with Lechu Neranana. This is a command to sing and be joyful, for after all, Shabbat is fast approaching. Lechu Neranana L'Adonai Nariya Letzor Yishaynu Nakadama Fanav Besada Bizmiras Nariya Arba'im Shana Akut Badar V'amam Ta'ev Levavhem V'hem Lo Yodu Darachim Asher Nishbati V'yapi Im Yevun Elam Nuchasi Shir Latunoi Shir Chodosh Shir Latunoi Kol Haaretz Shir Latunoi Baruch Hu Shema Basru Miyam Miyam Yeshua Sam Sabru Vagayim Kevodo B'chol Ha'amim Niflei Yosam Hikadol Adonai Urahu Lameyad Nara U'akol Elohim Ay 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 Hikol Elohei Ha'amim Elilim Adonai Shemayim Asaf Hod v'Hada Lefanav Oz v'Seferes V'Mikdasha Havul Adonai Mishpachos Amim Havul Adonai
Adonai Kabbalat Shabbat Mincha Uva Lechatzrosav Ishtachavu Adonai B'Hatras Kodesh Ilumi Panav Kol Haaretz Imruv Hagoyim Adonai Malav Ati Kol Tevel Baltimore Yodin Amim B'Meisharim Yismachu Hashamayim V'Sogeh Haaretz Vayeram Hayom Malav Ya Allah Sadai Kabbalat Shabbat As Yeranenu Kol Atseya Lifnei Adonai Hiva Lishmat Haaretz Lishmat Tevel B'Tzedek V'Yamim Ve'emunasa Ayilam Nara Nana Nara Ayanai Nai 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 Ayanai Nai 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 Adonai Malach Tagel Haaretz Yismachu Yim Rabim. Ayave Adonai Sinura Shomer Nafshos Chasidav Miyad Rishaim Yatzilem Or Zaru Ala Tzadik Uli Yisraelei Simcha Simchu Tzadikim B'Adonai V'Hadu Lezecher Kodsham Mizmor Shir Adonai Shechadash Ki Niflas Asa Hashiala Yemina Uzroa Kodsham Hadiat No Yeshua Selenas. Piskavranu v'zarmei v'zarmei v'chanu v'kum v'znam v'chatzras b'chol shafa Harei lefnei hamelech Adonai Yiramayam umlab Tevel v'yashivayva Naras yimcha Yachad Harim Yiraneinu Lifnei Adonai Kiva Lishvat Haaretz Yishvat Tevel B'Tzedek V'amim B'Meisharim Adonai Malach Yirgezu Amim Yoshev Keruvim Tanut Haaretz Moshe v'Aharon v'Chanav u'Shmuel v'Korei Shema Korim El Adonai v'Hu Yanim Bamud Anan Yidaber Alehem Shamru Eidasav Rachok nosan lama Adonai Eloheinu Ata Anisam Enosei Ha'isa Lahem V'nakem Ala Lilasam Ramenu Adonai Eloheinu V'yish Achavot Lahar Kodsho Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Oy mizmor leDavid Havul Adonai b'nei Elim Havul Adonai Kavod va'oz Havul Adonai Kavod Shemosh Havul Adonai Bahadras Kodesh Kol Adonai Alamayim Elak Kavod Hirim Adonai Amayim Rabim Kol Adonai Bakoa Ay Kol Adonai Behadam Kol Adonai Shaver Arasim Vayishab Adonai Esazeh Halavona Yarkidem Kamoeg Lebanon Basirion Kemor Ben-Riyamim Ay Kol Adonai Chosef Lavasesh Adonai Yochil Midbar Yochil Adonai Midbar Kodesh Kol Adonai Yifalel Ayolos Vayefesov Oyaros V'hefala Kula Amekov Ay Adonai Lamabul Yashavay Shiv Adonai Melech Le'olam Adonai Oz Yamoi Yitain Adonai Yivarech Esamo V'shalom Nine Lechototi Lekras Kala Panei Shabbos Lekabbalat Lechototi Lekras Kala Panei Shabbos Lekabbalat Ishmiyanu el hamayufad Adonai echad Ushma echad L'shem L'seferes V'lismila Lechad Adi Likras Kala, B'nei Shabbos, Kabbalat, Likras Shabbos, Lachu B'nei Lacha, Ki Him HaKohaberacha, Rosh Mikadem, Suchot Safa, Asaber Machashava Tefillah, Lecha Dodi, Likras Kala, B'nei Shabbos, Kabbalat, Mikdash Melech im Nalucha, U'mitzakim mitoch Afecha, Lock Shevet b'yemei kabacha, v'hu yachamol alaychem lo. Lecha dodi, likras kala, b'nei Shabbos, Kabbalat. Is na'arim me'yafaku milishi, b'ktei sifartei Al Yad Ben Yishai, Beis Halach Mikavo El Nashiga Allah, Lecha Dodi, Likras Kala, B'nei Shabbos, Kabbalat. Isarari, Kiva Arekum Me'ori, Ori, Shir Daveri Kavod Adonai, Alayach Nigla, Lecha Dodi, Likras Kala, B'nei Shabbos, Kabbalat. Losi kolami, mati shtocha matemi, bochi yachasu ani ayami, v'liv nasa, girati lo lecha dodi, oy likras kala, b'nei Shabbos, Kabbalat, hayu l'shisach, Asai, Rachakuko, Lefalai, Yasisalai, Elohai, Ipsos Chasan, Alkala, Lecha Dodi, Likras Kala, B'nei Shabbos, Kabbalat, Dominus Lord, Tifrod Zubis Adonai, Ta'aritzi, Al Yadish, Ben Parsi, V'nismacha, V'nagila, Lecha Dodi, Likras Kala, B'nei Shabbos, Kabbalat, Lecha Dodi, Likras Kala, B'nei Shabbos, Kabbalat.
Wow, that was fantastic. Stephen, Yuval, thank you so much for such an uplifting and inspiring Kabbalat Shabbat. My thanks also to Louise and Josh Muntz for the production, and to Richard Verber at the US for all his hard work. Mazel tov again to Tamara and her family on her bat mitzvah, and to anyone else who's celebrating a birthday or any other simcha. Stay safe and well, and on behalf of everyone at Bournemouth and Elstree Synagogue, I wish you all good Shabbos, Shabbat Shalom.